I want to go on to the idea of sparkle. So sparkle is, I'm actually going to show you this chart by David Hawkins. Now, David Hawkins is both kind of a scientist as well as a metaphysician, we'll say, or an explorer of how to create, your higher consciousness. That's just your thinking, how you think. So he developed this and measured people's feelings. These are megahertz when they're at 1,000. I use them to use for a percentage here because we can just look at this as a percentage. In my head, that's a little easier than a megahertz. That's why that last column of zeros. So when we are out of the zone, when we are stuck in negative emotion, like fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, look at 2%, 3%, 4% based on 100% good thinking, positive thinking, right? And when you're in that arena, you actually experience inertia. Like when you're down in here, do you just give up? Don't you just throw in the towel? Or seen people that have done that and just like, I can't go on. And whether they do something drastic or they just crawl into bed and pull the covers over their head, they go into inertia. Now, moving from fear and desire on here is envy. If I could change this chart, I would change this to envy, because desire, as I use it, has a very much higher vibration. It's up in here if it's aligned with the divine desire, right? So this is when we're in envy. Up here comes somebody, let's see. Can I let them in? Yeah. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, it's Brenda. Yay. Okay. So, and Brenda knows all about this. Welcome, Brenda. And so when you move between fear and then even to envy, because if you think of fear, fear is a backwards motion. If you move into envy or anger or pride, it's actually a forward movement. Even if it's not the most positive, it's still here in the negative emotions, but we get into hyperactivity. And hyperactivity is like you look at this, envy's like, I'm going to go get what they have. Or anger is like, heck with them. Or pride is, I'm better than this, right? And so it does move you into activity, and that's a good thing. So even when you look at going step by step up to here. Now, this is one of my favorite awarenesses when I started studying this chart, is moving from pride to courage. And courage has a totally different feeling than any of these emotions down here. And so, and this should be in your notes. This chart should be in your notes. And if not, I'll make sure Nava puts it in the library. Okay. But when you move into courage, you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to, just like Karma did. And several of you on here have been moving into that next place. Is Brenda on? And I'm just not seeing her. There she is. Yeah. Okay. I had the little boxes over here. Yeah. And so look at what it produces when you're here, happy and productive. And even if you get one little iota of courage and you celebrate it, right, then you can move into trust and optimism. And what you're trusting is not in the physical experience. You're trusting in universal principle is the best thing to put your trust in. Okay. You can call it, God's law. You can call it Buddha's law. Any of those things will all, if we look at the vibrational frequency of whatever you call it, it is up here and happy and productive. That's what we're trusting in, and moving into optimism. And forgiveness is such freedom, right? And so then we move up into understanding, and that's where you guys are right now studying this, learning this, so that you can live more in love, gratitude, and joy. And by the way, the frequency of gratitude is the same as the frequency of having money. So if you just move into gratitude, you begin a magnet to attract money. right? And then up here is peace and all of this vibration. And oh, and look at down here, synchronicity and extraordinary outcomes. That's the out of the blue stuff. That's where this happens when you can move to here. Now, it doesn't say we don't move in and out of this in various times and various things, but this is very powerful to even stop yourself if you set your timer and look at, where is my feeling tone in here? What is my vibrational frequency? And it's not it's not what do I do to turn up my frequency? It's first a choice. What frequency do I want to operate at? Now, what is a step I can take to move into that? So sometimes we just go, oh, what do I have to do this? That's not the underlying idea and principle here. Okay, so to get back, so we were talking about sparkle, and Brenda knows a lot about sparkle. So I'm going to take Karma's vision that she wrote, and it's a very great way, and she gave me permission to do this. So, and anything is not, I say, is not a criticism, it's a refinement, you know. So, okay, so here we're going to share. This is her 12-week vision, and this is a huge leap when she was able to have the awareness that she talked about at the beginning of this call, and then come up with a 12-week vision. Now, Monday, Karma's having her hip replacement. And so she started with, I have one hip replaced, am healed, and feel confident using that hip. I've taken on my recovery as my job, and I am thrilled to be able to walk, blah, 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 right? I see Steve stepping to, as a stepping stone to my becoming and having a wonderful life. That's her ex. And this healing helps the family to understand that it's possible with our own family trials. I spend time with my friends, my apartment is organized. And this almost reads like, and it's a good first stop because it really helps you get clarity. It almost sounds like goals or checklist, right? And what we want to do when we create our vision is we want to feel it. What does it take to feel it? Oh my gosh, here it is 6 weeks after my surgery, and look at me, I am, and then just walking half an hour. Talk about how, wow, look at, as I put one foot in front of the other and I'm walking on this beautiful path here, and I see the flowers and I see the trees and the, you know, and the temperature is just right. And when we say just right, or down here, she said, oh, it's on the other one that she did 18 months. She said, in fact, she said, I have all of my needs met. Okay, we have to be very specific, both in the detail, but in the emotion. I feel so free every time I go to that ATM machine and I take out some cash and I see my balance in my account and then in my savings. And I just feel so free knowing that now it's easy for me to pay my bills. There's an ease and a joy when I do it. Don't forget to do that, by the way, when you pay your bills. Oh my gosh, it's the hardest one to work on with my husband. Could you not curmudgeon about this? Can we just say, wow, we got the electricity that we wanted? We, you know, guess what I just did? I booked tickets to Mexico for Christmas. and every time the price kept going up and up, I said, we better get our tickets now. And it's like, but it's so expensive. It's just money, he says, you know. And I said, are you going to enjoy yourself? And he's like, yeah, I'll enjoy myself. So, you know, it's like you to sparkle it means to put on what it feels like to do this. This is a great first step. And now, especially since your surgery is on Monday, okay, is to write what it looks like 12 weeks from now up here, but in a picture. We also, our mind thinks in pictures. So when we create pictures, our mind can get behind it much more than the linear words. Okay. And then the next trick to doing your vision is, other than sending it to me and I can help you out with it, is to read it every day as if you feel it, as if it's happening right now. And this isn't future thinking. It is creating the vibration so that that is the match that you are creating for your life. And I have another colleague that we do trades with, and she was telling me about how easy it is. I'll just go there. Easy it is to look at one experience in a relationship and then think, oh, that's not the relationship. And instead looking at what is the sparkle that I want to experience in a relationship. And actually, this person in her life has now circled back around. She doesn't know she's actually meeting him today, but if nothing else, it helped her to go, hey, this could be the possibility, right? And those of you who haven't heard my story of my husband, we actually totally broke up, moved apart, everything was off. We did our inner work, and then we met up again, and now we've been married 35 years. So, uh, you know, and I had gone through lots of different previous relationships, right? Because we learn on every one of them. Okay.